Cortisol gets blamed for everything. Stubborn belly fat, sugar cravings, and your entire metabolism shutting down. But is it really the villain here? Or just the easy scapegoat? Because if we are being truly honest with ourselves, when we're not reaching our goals, we love having something to blame. So in this video, I'm going to help you get out of your own way and figure out if hormones really are the issue or just the excuse that you have been leaning on for a little bit too long. And if we haven't met before, I'm Maria and I'm a registered dietitian whose weight loss advice has been featured in leading media outlets around the world, helping people to lose weight. So if that is something that you are interested in, make sure to hit subscribe because I have new videos every single week. So firstly, to validate you, it is very common to see a number of hormones that are involved with appetite regulation and your weight disrupted in people who struggle with managing their weight. And this can include cortisol, as well as others like estrogen, ghrelin, and leptin. But what is also very common is a whole internet industry that takes this truth and they run with it, trying to manipulate you into buying supplements, capitalizing on your struggles, and selling detoxes or so-called hormone protocols that deliver nothing but empty promises and empty wallets. So the first thing that we need to understand about cortisol is that it actually is not bad. Yes, it is the stress hormone, but we do all need a little bit of stress in our lives. And the common example that you've probably heard, and it's not a bad example, is to think what would happen if you came face to face with a tiger. You have to run away or try to fight this. And either way, cortisol helps your body do just that. It's the fight or flight response. And the cortisol causes a number of things to happen in your body once it's released. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and your blood sugar levels also go up. Now, it might sound like a bad thing, but in stressful situations, this increased blood sugar means that there is more available fuel, so you can run even faster away from the tiger. And this is an acute, short burst of cortisol. That is its purpose. The problems start to arrive when cortisol is chronically elevated. So you have these mild stressors going on all the time in the background. And this could be things like family stress, financial stress, work stress, even from just checking your phone and social media multiple times a day. But in these situations, we're not running away from a tiger. We're probably sitting sedentary at our desk and not moving anywhere for the next 3 hours. And remember I said you have that extra blood sugar to help you run faster away from the tiger. Well, you're not running anywhere, so you're not even using it. Acute stresses hundreds of years ago were very different to the modern day stresses that we face today. Now, cortisol is also linked with our circadian rhythm, so our daily sleep and wake cycle. It's highest in the morning, which helps us get up and out of bed, and it's lowest in the evening when melatonin starts to take over, and this helps us go to sleep. Now, something I see a lot on social media is people labeling hormones as either good or bad, and this is just silly. Hormones are hormones, and we want them at the right level at the right time, and often those levels are going to fluctuate rhythmically or in response to certain things, and that is good. But does this chronically elevated cortisol cause weight gain? No, cortisol does not on its own directly cause weight gain. Body fat gain is driven first and foremost by overeating, and we all kind of know this already. However, here is the catch. Stress can absolutely make it harder to avoid overeating. And think about it, if you're stressed from work, you're more likely to order yourself a takeaway than cook a healthy meal. If you're overwhelmed with a massive to-do list, the chances are meal prep and workouts are going to be the first thing that get kicked out the window. And if you're not sleeping, maybe it's because of hot flushes during menopause, or you have a newborn child that wakes up 4 times a night. That lack of sleep is a huge stressor. Poor sleep is going to ramp up your appetite, make you crave junk food, and suddenly all your healthy habits are gone. So the boring, unglamorous truth is that cortisol isn't really the main culprit. The real issue is that stress makes it harder to stick to the basics of a healthy lifestyle. So you don't need an expensive cortisol detox plan. What you really need is compassion for yourself and small steps to reduce that stress that's impacting your habits. Unfortunately, there is not really a quick fix, but that is what the internet wants to sell you. And we do all love a good quick fix. So the real issue that is happening right now online is that everyone is focusing so much on cortisol that it is distracting us from what truly matters. And that is going back and looking at how much you're eating, what you're eating. Are you doing some exercise? Are you getting fresh air? Are you keeping up with hobbies and maintaining social connections that keep you happy? If fat loss is your goal, these are the foundations. Cortisol should not be your main focus. The cortisol protocols that you see on Instagram or TikTok, they are designed to make you lose money and not lose fat. Now, the purpose of this video and all of my videos is to not leave you feel in any way disheartened. It's to give you hope. And I am very aware that me just saying, well, you need to go and manage your stress is not always the solution, because sometimes we can't really get rid of stress in our lives. A lot of it can be very much out of our control. So what I would encourage you to do after watching this video, if you feel you have a lot of stress in your life, take a pause and see if you can dive deeper. Maybe you need support from your doctor, for example, or maybe you need to ask for more help in some area of your life. But try and pinpoint that main stressor and try to tackle it head on. And I see this cortisol phrase being thrown around, particularly aimed and targeted towards women going through menopause. And it makes sense because you might be having more hot flushes. You might be waking up multiple times in the night due to frequent urination. And these are all very stressful things. But having a discussion with your doctor might be able to help you come up with a solution. And it's not a cortisol solution. It might be something like having a discussion about HRT, or there are vaginal estrogen creams that can help with frequent urination, and that could help you get your sleep back, and that will have a knock-on effect of helping you get back on track with your healthy habits. So try to pinpoint that main stressor and really tackle it head on. No cortisol pill is going to be able to do that for you. Now, I will say that some studies do show that cortisol responses can be higher or last longer after stress in menopause, but it's not universal. And this is because estrogen, it normally helps buffer that stress response. So sometimes the stress response can feel more intense. Now, that doesn't mean that every woman has sky-high cortisol levels during menopause. Again, it's often that combination of everything like that poor sleep, a change in life circumstances, all of these things accumulating together. Now, what might happen, and where there is some truth, is that cortisol can affect where your fat is stored. So if you're eating excess calories, you're going to probably gain weight. And these excess calories, in combination with high stress and high cortisol levels, mean that more of that fat stored is more likely to be around your tummy area. However, if you're eating the same amount of excess calories, but your cortisol levels aren't high, that fat gain is likely to occur on your body wherever you are more genetically predisposed to gain fat. That could be on your hips or on your thighs, or it could be on your stomach if that's where you genetically put on weight. So cortisol can impact belly fat. And I think that is what is really fueling the cortisol fear, because tummy fat is more visually obvious and it's not as good for our health because it's surrounding your internal organs like your pancreas, and they can't do their job as well when they're surrounded by too much fat. But again, to gain weight, you need to be consuming more food than your body is burning. So in summary, cortisol is not the enemy. If you have elevated cortisol and elevated stress, sure, address it. But focus on food, movement, daily stress reducing habits, and your sleep first. Improving all of those areas will likely bring your cortisol back down to a healthy range, not eliminate it. Remember, we still want the right amount at the right time. Now, if this video was helpful and you would like to learn more, I have finally released my practical weight loss ebook. I'll leave it linked down in the description box below, but it's a 112-page guide that walks you through the exact strategies that I use with my clients to help them lose weight and keep it off. This is the closest thing to working with me one-to-one, but for a fraction of the price. And once you purchase it, you get lifetime access to all future updates, because I am going to update it regularly as we get new research and new strategies in this area. Now, if you enjoyed this video, YouTube has handpicked this one here for you because they think you would like to watch it next. As always, thank you very much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.